Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight. Of course, I'm sitting down with the Techy with the Moses, Techy Joe. How are you, baby?
Hello. Doing pretty well. How are you this evening?
Oh, running behind, dealing with crises. It's a normal Friday night.
Yes.
Our coffee pot gets a little slower. That network signs me out a little slower every time. I swear they haven't greased that thing in a month.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So we made it.
We made it. So, of course, Lori Daybell is in trial again, representing herself. She has
Oh,
a
worse.
jury of 13 men and 3 women,
Okay.
which is kind of interesting. The judge had to shut her down a few times.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, because she's being her own lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And it's like,
So she's going off the rails.
well, she was very active in her other case, and she was so successful at getting herself there.
Why
Yeah,
not try it on your own? See what you can do.
exactly.
Yeah, that's not a winning strategy.
Yes.
So,
So we'll see where that goes. This is, of course, the trial for her husband that her brother shot in her living room.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So she's what, conspiracy on that one?
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'll be interesting is the fight between Idaho and Arizona on who keeps her.
Oh, fair enough. Like, I don't want her, you take her. I don't want her, you take her.
Right. What I found interesting, and this kind of hits us, is she's tried to list one of the lead reporters in the case as a witness.
Okay.
Yeah, basically to keep him out of the courtroom.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So did the judge actually allow it or nah?
Nah, that got squashed quickly.
I mean, kind of clever.
All right.
I mean, not successful, but clever.
Yeah. Um, but no, she
You just
pulled a
can't
few
watch
things.
testimony.
Mm-mm. But no, gets to watch testimony. Basically said there's no reason that he can be a witness.
Yeah. Like, what were you a witness to?
Exactly.
It was an attempt. An
Right.
attempt was made.
Right. She's pulled everything on competency, like unfilling your box.
I see.
Um, but Chad got death.
Oh, goodness.
So we'll see what happened. And of course, the brother that actually shot him is dead. So we'll see what Lori gets. I say
Oh,
dead.
Lord, the updates. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Court started at 10:32 a.m. There's a 10:35, 10:36, 10:37, 10:39, 10:41.
Play by play, baby.
Whew, that is just all the updates.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these are like whole paragraph updates.
Mm-hmm. Because there were some
Jeez.
major decisions. Like, this judge don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot going on there. Oh, but she was clear to represent herself.
Yes.
Oh, and the prison makeup is strong.
See, like, everyone is debating on what she's wearing. Personally, I think that it's, matchsticks.
I'm thinking that's like a Sharpie.
Okay.
I mean, that is some severe eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I kind of noticed that previously.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, yeah,
Well, I don't know where she's getting alcohol to take them off. I mean, because they don't wear off.
yeah, I think she's just every time they thin down a little bit, just or a little more.
Right.
Like, I don't think you bother taking that off.
Right.
Like,
No.
that is some severe eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a lack of foundation. Like, I know, we're talking about her appearance, and that it shouldn't matter. It's
But
a
the
big
hair.
change
Mm-hmm.
from the person that they run all the photographs about.
Right.
Like, she easily looks like she's aged 10, 15 years.
At least. At least 10, 15 years. So
Hey,
that is that.
Joshua.
Joshua.
Well, and hey, Brenda. Hey, Renee.
Yeah. So that's that update we got running. The trial starts next week. Expect us to cover some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking to
That,
see if
that'll be
the
an
passengers
interesting
has any updates.
one. Oh, 8 passengers was all done.
No, there's 2 other lawsuits.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, no. Ah, hey, Tosh. Sorry, got it now.
Yeah.
Hey, Devin.
How's this dated in the future?
What do you mean? How is this dated in the future?
Oh, this was last. Okay, never mind. I read the date wrong.
For a couple of months from now, but last year.
Yeah, April 14th of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, couple days in the future in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a year ago.
Right.
It is a thing that I swear to God, you spend half the year remembering what year it is, and then just in time for the year to change, and spend half the year trying to remember what year it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 25 just seems weird still.
It's more than weird. I'm just kind of like not there.
I mean, we can shoot for 1925.
I could do 1925. It's much easier.
I mean, yeah.
Mm.
A lot of repeating history, though.
It is. It's so much repeating history, so much craziness, and it's like, really, are we doing this again? And then you get into the people that don't know their history, and I'm like, we've done this.
Yeah. Don't do tariffs. Tariffs are a bad idea.
Right.
Stop doing tariffs. Never have they ever worked in the way you want them to.
Right. Especially when they're paid in fish and stones, because they're penguins. What do you expect?
You know, and if they start giving you stones, be careful. That is a sign of affection.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So what did make your news feed? Because I'm running out of pulp culture at the moment. Sister Wives is currently on break. There's a new show that I'm looking to watch.
I'm trying to think if anything major has hit my newsfeed. We may have to just go over and Reddit it up.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, of course, guys, we're getting all the normal stuff you are. We figure you're sick of it, so we try not to bring it up here. But
Right.
come on, who the hell does tariffs? Like,
People that do not know how to run, which that got a rebuction, which was interesting from the House. We'll see if the Senate does anything.
yeah. Like, stop. Oh. I mean, West Virginia's pulled some stupid stunts.
Well, they have. Now, I'm agreeing with one of the stupid stunts they've done. Let's talk about the food, the leading the way for healthy eating.
Oh, well, yeah, see, you got to be careful with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was going so well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, that's kind of a bipartisan issue. Like, I'm ready for some Red 40 and BHT and like pure garbage out of our food. I'm there for that. Like, you want to start talking about like the obesity epidemic and everything else, these are things leading to that. Like,
right.
the number of, because again, the whole argument against was that like 60% of our shelves would be empty.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, one, that's if you institute it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But two, do you not follow the bouncy ball there?
Right.
That means 60% of the food that you're buying, if we hold that true, 60% of the food you can go in and buy, the pre-made, pre-packaged, processed, chemical-laden food that you can go buy, which, quite frankly, who's got time to cook? Like, we're opening boxes, we're slamming it out in 30 minutes or less. Like, don't make me think it's been a long day. 60% of the available food, because I figure you take a good, 20-25% off the shelf that's just produce and meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, seriously, what's left? Like, you're in a wasteland. But 60% of that food, it contains this shit. Look around. It's not going well. That's how prolific this crap is.
Right.
You can't avoid it, or it is near impossible to avoid. And hi, welcome to everyone. Like, oh my God, you won't have any choice in food. Yeah. What do you think's happening for parents already? For people already trying to avoid this crap? Their stores, the same stores you're shopping in and buying this crap and eating this crap and then, kicking yourself and, telling your kids to put down the fork. Yeah. It's not about put down the fork. It's about get the garbage out of the food.
Yeah. Put real food in front of people.
Yeah. Like, you want your kids to sit down, shut up, and be still. That guy 40's got to come out of some shit.
Yep.
Real quick. And yeah, it will most definitely increase the cost of food.
Right.
Again, we're not talking it like it increased the cost of production. And some estimates do put that at some foods will their cost of production will multiply by 5.
Right.
Cost of production. We're not necessarily talking about the end price on the shelf. Everything, like, you're not going to pay 5 times more for macaroni and cheese. Well, macaroni and cheese, actually, Kraft was really good. They did this.
Yeah.
Their food price doubled. 99-cent boxes of Kraft mac and cheese are gone.
Right.
They're like $2 now. Depending on what you get. Like, I'm talking the base one. But literally, this was a campaign that a group of moms got together on to get the crap out of macaroni and cheese. Like, Kraft showed up and said, you know what, y'all have a point. we can work around that.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a fair amount of their food dye, they took their food dye out and added paprika for the red, and they added turmeric for the yellow, so it kept the same bright orange cheesiest look, with all natural ingredients. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. Honestly, I think it became better.
Right.
Some might argue that one, but it's certainly, as healthy as macaroni and cheese can be, became healthier.
Right.
Because in a lot of instances, if you really want to go back to the golden days, you got to cut out some food science and the bullshit that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of this is cheap, easy for food manufacturers to dump in and get the color, the look, the whatever they're going for. They combine well with others. The biggest one that is a problem is I believe it's BHT and BTA. Those are both used heavily, if I remember correctly. I know BHT is, I think BTA also, or I think it's BTA. Those are used heavy in like your processed like sausages and things like that. So your pepperoni, big concern for West Virginia, pepperoni rolls, you're gonna have to find a supplier somewhere in the next 3 years.
But I will tell you, we've gotten the uncured, undyed, like, because I buy it, and it's better.
Yeah.
Like, you start understanding what people wanted.
Yeah, it's less garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird how much we have overprocessed our food. And I appreciate shelf life. I do. You're running a business. I appreciate the need for shelf life. I do. I can fully appreciate that.
Right.
At some point, you have to weigh it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe you need to quit sending that much food and taking up that much shelf space.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, have you seen some of the shelf space that like is being used? It's kind of ridiculous for some of these products. Mm-hmm. Like, you would be fine. Shrink it down a little.
Well, see, this is what gets me, and this is what aggravates me overall, and this is when any change is made. We raise the wages of most workers. So the lowest I've seen acceptable is $10 an hour. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to raise the price of goods out the roof.
Not really. Not really. Because the actual reality there is, if you thought that, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever retail, Dollar General, whatever, was struggling to eke out a profit, like they were so razor thin on their margins, they just can't possibly survive.
Right.
They're fine.
Right.
They're fine. They're making a obscene amount of profit.
Right.
And have been for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not your local mom and pop that is struggling to make payroll.
Right.
Like, they are. So take like your Walmart, your Dollar General, your whatever. These are massive agreements that these companies get to set what the hell they pay for their supplies.
Right.
Like, you have a contract with Walmart, you make it for whatever the hell Walmart tells you to make it for. They will pay you X dollars per unit. You'll either deliver or you won't. Mm-hmm. There's no negotiation. You have a contract with Walmart. You will figure it the fuck out.
Right.
If they tell you it's 10 cents a unit, you'll figure out how to make it for 10 cents a unit.
Yeah.
May not always be the best, but Walmart never said always the best. They said always
Right.
low prices. But they get that. They will do a obscene markup on it.
Right.
So take a shirt, they'll pay maybe $1 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Right.
They will put it on the shelf for $10, $12, not blink an eye. They have employees that work
Right.
there. Some, most of that store is now technically run by self-checkout.
Mm-hmm.
But those employees are there. They are stocking shelves. They are valuable to the business.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fraction
Mm-hmm.
of what it actually what they actually make in that store.
Right.
Like and then you factor in all the sweetheart deals, the fact that they rarely do full time. They teach their employees how to get welfare benefits.
Right.
Like, we're subsidizing Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not clear on that, we are subsidizing Walmart
Yes.
and their
And
profit.
have been.
Yeah, it's not going to be the big deal everyone thinks it's going to be.
Right.
Now, argumentatively, Walmart can decide to go skeleton
Mm-hmm.
and kick a couple of people's off that kick a couple of people off the payroll.
Right.
That's an option that they have. It'll reduce the performance of their stores.
I doubtful.
Well,
I mean, look at
generally,
the Amazon stores. They don't have humans.
well, fair enough, but still,
Right.
it's
Now,
not. I mean,
Devin's brought up the rent has gone ridiculous in the town.
oh yeah,
There's hardly any good opportunity there. Yeah, but at the same time, some of the opportunities that used to be like, ew, they're making more than a lot of people. I mean, let's put a point blank there. Some of the, maybe I'm an old timer. Granted, when I started working, I made $2.14 an hour plus tips. But some people are rocking it. The housing market, however, has gotten ridiculous because no one's building. That's the issue.
Part of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a lot of houses tied up in private equity.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like it is literally it has become a page from the De Beers playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't pay so much for a diamond because it's so rare.
Right.
You pay so much for a diamond because the De Beers Corporation controls the supply in the market.
Right.
And creates artificial scarcity.
Right.
Which allows them to, and those who sell, to jack up the price because it's so rare. No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a giant fucking vault of them.
Right.
There's no rarity to be had.
Right.
It's turns out diamonds are a fairly common stone, and they're easily lab grown.
Yes, and beautiful from
actually,
lab grown.
They're not actually more special.
Right.
Actually, your lab growth allows you to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Make the canary, make the chocolate.
Yeah. Like, the whole reason lab-grown diamonds exist is that for commercial applications, it actually helps to be able to control the purity.
Right. Now, for me, what happens a lot of times is, overall, looking at it, I'd rather have a lab-grown stone than a bloodstone. I don't want blood diamonds.
Well, those are technically conflict diamonds. Again, that's kind of a weird. It's not that doesn't occur. It does occur. The whole real issue there is that the control that diamond companies have over the market and the ability to refuse to pay a decent price ends up circumventing or attempts to circumvent the actual market.
Right.
Like,
so
they are complex. I mean, not to gloss over that, but it is part of the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, rent's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Housing
buy,
prices.
always buy. I want to decide where I want to put a nail or a wall up at. My opinion.
See, I figure no matter what you do, you're always renting it from someone. Like, you can either rent from a landlord, you can rent from the bank, or you can rent it from its own problems. Because by the time you buy the house and pay off the bank, I will guarantee you that house needs a roof and a furnace and an air conditioner and new windows. And you're going to go right back to the one of two things will happen. You will either go right back to the bank and pull out an equity line of credit, or a second mortgage, or some other thing to accomplish these, because they're not cheap. But one way or another, you're going to write a check every month for as long as you own a house, or it will break you.
Right.
Because trying to cash pay just straight, I'll save up money, I'm really good and responsible. Doesn't matter. You're going to eat that money right out for the air conditioner, the furnace, the windows, the roof, the driveway, the kitchen remodel, the bathroom remodel, because you have to do these things. There's no option.
Right.
But yeah. Oh, wow. Devin's currently waiting to see if I get approved for a loan. Yay! Finally financially stable enough to buy. Very awesome.
Very awesome. Very awesome. All right. So let's hop into some Reddit here. I've posted a few. You choose where we go.
All right. Well, let's start with Ask Gay Bros over 30, and this one's marked 35 to 39. Friend weight issue / fallout. I fractured my leg in December, which led to me becoming less mobile and resting more as part of the healing process. I also ended up gaining some weight. I tend to put on weight easily, about 5 to 7 kilograms, 10 to 14 pounds. My weight is currently at 90 kilograms, 200 pounds. I'm 5'8", and I have a stocky build. A few weeks ago, I saw a friend who I've known for 9 years, briefly. He is 57, works as a counselor therapist. We've often been able to discuss issues in depth and had a good level of communication. He previously had gastric band surgery before I knew him and is now taking Ozempic. When I see him, he asks me firstly if I've noticed how much weight he has lost. I reply that I hadn't noticed. He looks the same. He has always been slim, skinny, with a lack of muscle since I've known him. This is before he asks about my leg injury. Anyway, a week ago, I get a voice note from him where he tells me I've put on weight. He is concerned I've put on weight. He needs to know I'm doing something about it. Asks if I've considered gastric band surgery. Tells me don't be upset by the message. Background info: I work a physical job. I have attended physio sessions, regular swimming, and in March of 25, my average step count returned to 10,000. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I immediately felt attacked, but I could see the issues around weight gain were his own. I also didn't feel comfortable having someone message me about weight without even asking first. So I reply, I would prefer to have a boundary whereby you ask me first if I would be comfortable to discuss my weight. What I'm hearing is you projecting your own insecurities about your weight and body image onto me. I feel you are making assumptions that I am unhealthy and unhappy with my weight based on your own previous experiences. I am neither unhealthy nor unhappy with it. I understand your concern, but the lack of activity was inevitable as part of the recovery process. I am recovering well, have been walking long distances regularly, swimming, and hope to increase it further. This is not a conversation subject I want to continue. I can see he has read my message. A few days pass, and then he blocks me. Was my response reasonable? I felt like I was being kicked while I'm down. What would you have said?
Fuck
Nothing nice.
off is what I would have said. But
I
anyhow.
was gonna say nothing nice. Nothing nice.
Yeah.
Nothing nice. No, that you handled that expertly. I think it was unfortunately one of those moments. He was not prepared to have the truth served between his eyes.
Well, it should have been served between his nose. But overall, what gets me with this is, and this is that, okay, there is a level of gay that is twink all the way. There's a level of gay that's like, bear's cute, and I'll take a twink, but they're breakable. And then there's a level of BU. And the more younger ones are at the BU stage. Now, my generation, you wanted to be thin, trim, and skinny as fuck.
I mean, there was that push, but I don't know. I think a fair number of us went, this is a fucking trap.
Right.
Like I feel like for me the biggest thing was the 90s and fen. And it really put a strong pause on any desire I am ever gonna have. And I will say gastric, bypass and the lap band surgeries and the whatever. Those also, like, I've seen those go really horribly. Now, granted, most of that is like this. The surgical route mostly goes bad when people think it's an instant fix. They don't have to do anything about it.
Right.
That you just go in for surgery, they do the surgery, and then you just come out and live your life. And it's like, oh, no, that is not how that works at all.
Right, and I agree, but and that's a total life-changing event. But even before, we had fen, we had two other drugs that came with fen. Then we had the lap band surgeries, which I will remember. I had a patient, literally, we were taking plastic butter dishes and dressing her stomach with because it busted. Nope. Never been the right choice for me.
When that surgery goes bad, it goes spectacularly bad.
Yeah.
Now, again, most of that, and I will say most of that has to do with the person having the surgery and their actual commitment to the life change that goes with it, and their ability to really stick to it. Because it's not optional. Once you have the surgery done, it's not optional.
Right.
You have to go back through a surgery to be able to go, oh, I changed my mind.
Right. But I don't know. For me, I feel like that people are there are people that need the surgeries. There are people that need the drugs. Whatever. But they've got to match that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, though, for me, the fen problems. I will say that I truly appreciate those being so quick on the heels of a miracle weight loss cure, and then immediately all these people start having massive heart issues that are clearly there was no question.
Right.
This is not some company trying to be like, oh no, our product's totally safe.
Right.
No, it was very clear that it's your drug. You're going to take this on the chin. There's no escaping it. But it really drove home the point that there's just not really a safe, effective, clear-cut, instant solution. Like, and I'm afraid that we're going to see the same thing with Ozempic and other GLP-1s.
Right.
That, and they've already said this would be a forever drug if you're using it just for weight loss, because
Well,
from what they know so far, the minute you stop taking it, you're very likely to regain the weight. Maybe not
but
all of it, but you're going to regain.
right. But the thing with that is and this is the problem. This has been the problem with all the drugs. They help you, but you've got to change your activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, they're well, and I mean, my problem isn't that they're you have to change your activity. Like I personally would be okay with that part.
Right.
It's just, you're looking for a quick fix. In
Right.
some instances, you're looking for a quick, like the people that the surgery, that the drugs most appeal to,
Mm-hmm.
are typically the least, or I feel, some of the least capable
Right.
of actually following through.
Right.
Because their problem may very well be that they're them being
Right.
overweight has way more to do with an
Right.
inability to stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's I just fucking love food, or I have a mountain of mental health issues and I'm trying to fill a void.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to overcome in a year, which is usually the lead up of time that roughly that it takes to oh yeah, you're good to go. We've addressed your issues. As I don't think you fix some of these people in a year. Judged
Well,
by some of the failures, I don't think you fix these people in a year.
mm-hmm.
Like, not enough to have surgery. The if you don't follow everything we're saying and get your own grasp on like your issues, what's causing you to overeat, what's causing you to be sedentary, your depression, your trauma and abuse, if you don't handle all that,
Right.
oh, you're going to have a bunch of health problems real quick. That's the only thing they are really good at is you fuck this up. It's you might get lucky once,
Mm-hmm.
maybe twice, but beyond that, no. Oh, see, no, no, no. Why? Why are doctors doing this?
Yeah.
I know someone who used the Ozempic to lose 15 pounds and put it back on when they stopped. You really gonna have to change habits and what you ingest and how much you ingest on the daily.
Right.
15 pounds is not when you're supposed to be using Ozempic.
Right.
Not
But
when you're
no.
supposed to be using this.
After
God.
her beacon.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna give the beacon out. You can go find her where you want to find her at.
Okay.
Like if you really want to see what it takes to change your life, boom.
Oh, she didn't get it from the doctor. She got it off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that sounds about right. And that has been a huge part of the problem as well.
Right.
So technically, I believe she did get it from a doctor. What is happening, and it is one of the most concerning
Right.
developments in healthcare. Don't get me wrong. If y'all know anything about me at all, you know I like the convenience that electronics, the internet, the web can bring us. And I do have a love affair with telehealth.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't have is respect for companies that hire a doctor and that isn't really taking they're a company doctor.
Right.
Everyone qualifies.
Yeah.
They're a rubber stamp.
Right.
They're probably sitting on a computer in a country without extradition, they will rubber stamp everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody qualifies.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You qualify.
Yeah. But no, Tanya's the one that I started watching on TikTok. She would do
Mm-hmm.
lives every morning. And she had gastric bypass.
Mm-hmm.
She's also the one that is the water queen, flavor queen, all that. But she will show you what it takes to get your life moving. Like, I
Yeah.
love listening to her talk, listening to her move, but it's like, oh, it's in the morning. Let's go walk to the driveway.
Yeah. It's a whole life change.
Right.
Like, it's not a quick fix. It does not just magically make your
Right.
problems go away. And that's probably one of the other concerns with weight loss.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's going to totally dramatically change their lives.
Right.
And
And it does
sometimes the worst thing to
dramatically
find
change your
out, well, sometimes the worst thing that people find out is the weight wasn't really your problem.
life. Right.
Or it could be a self-solved issue.
Right.
If you address the other problems in your life,
Mm-hmm.
or quite frankly, that's not your issue.
Right.
There's even some newer research, finally, that is starting to drive home the point that there are healthy fat people, there are
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy fat people. Maybe this isn't so easy after all.
Right.
Maybe there's not a clear
Mm-hmm.
obesity will kill you line, and that no, some of us out here are perfectly healthy.
Yeah. Now, what's scary is if me and you were in China, they would put us on a diet to eat food.
Well, they would
Yeah.
probably put on a diet to eat more, um, but then be perplexed
Mm-hmm.
because technically you are the less healthy one in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at us, if we just show up, you would go, "Oh, he's the healthy one,"
Mm-hmm.
and "Oh, I'm the fat one. I'm dying. I've got to have
Right.
like 50 bazillion medical problems, and I'm
Right.
just dying over here. Like, the weight
Mm-hmm.
is just killing me."
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. You're the healthy one. I'm the one that's got the diabetes, the RA, the
Mhm.
rheumatoid arthritis, the asthma, the high blood pressure, the internal nerve problems. Like, I've got
And the
11 to
weight
12
does
bottles of
help.
meds a day.
And the weight loss does help.
Yeah,
It
but the weight
helps with
loss
the
isn't the.
diabetes. It helps with the heart conditions. It helps with it. It does help.
Yeah,
Like,
but
never
the
have I
weight.
ever said, oh, this you don't need to lose weight. Your heart condition is totally irrelevant. No,
Right.
no, it helps. We're clear on the medicine. Like, we got it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll accept it. Um, it doesn't, but the inverse isn't true. Not everybody, not even the
Right.
majority of people that are obese,
Mm-hmm.
that are fat,
Mm-hmm.
are running around here just a coronary heart attack waiting to happen.
Well, and I think that that's been a problem. This is another one of those problems I have. But see, like, none of my medicine is for weight loss. Does the metformin assist in weight loss? Yes. Does the Trulicity assist in weight loss? Yes. But it's more to control the diabetes.
Oh, yeah. Brenda, dead on. Going to when you're overweight, also everything is you need to lose weight before checking for a cause. The number of times I've been diagnosed fat,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, my insurance needs a fucking refund. Okay?
Yeah.
For the number of times
Mm-hmm.
that I've gone to a doctor, I've had a legitimate issue, medical problem,
Mm-hmm.
unrelated to weight,
Mm-hmm.
and been diagnosed fat.
Yeah.
And it you literally just sit there and it's like, what the hell do I say to this human
Right.
that will snap them the fuck out of it?
Right.
like, I don't know. Did you want to hit your easy button today, or is that just you think that's $150 worth of advice?
Right.
Like, clearly an acute onset problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to work a little harder than, oh, it's because you're overweight. You
Well,
just
you
need
know,
to
I'm
diet
not
and
my
exercise
right.
more, and you'll feel better. If you lose 10 pounds, you'll feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, bless you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
My weight fluctuates within at least 10 pounds, if not
Mm-hmm.
20, on a normal week.
Yeah.
Don't tell me 10 pounds is going to fix it.
Right. Because 10 pounds didn't fix your neck. 10 pounds didn't fix your leg. 10 pounds didn't fix your blood pressure, which you didn't even have blood pressure problems, but they decided to incorporate different
I,
numbers.
as a fun thing, so the American Heart Association changed the guidelines for blood pressure numbers. The problem being, I have a family history of borderline high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly fine. We literally, it is not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It just it is.
Right.
It just is. It's
Mm-hmm.
like my good cholesterol will always be low. It
Mm-hmm.
is hereditary. There are multiple generations with this random anomaly.
Right.
We eternally have low good cholesterol. It's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a random anomaly. Not killing me, not causing
Nope.
me health issues, not going to kill, like, unless you want to sit here and argue with, the people in my family with this problem that lived into their 90s
Mm-hmm.
and died of something else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's like
I
I'm
tend to
always
go
going to have
towards
high
that.
cholesterol. My family has high cholesterol. Leave my cholesterol alone. So we do a base medicine to shut the insurance company up.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to argue with my great grandfather, I mean, deceased, uh, for obvious reasons,
Call 911.
um, he lived to 96. He was bigger than I am
Mm-hmm.
and had been his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He was never a skinny dude.
Mm-hmm.
Lived to 96, perfectly healthy, not a lot of health issues, nothing abnormal for his age.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he was not like, he literally, at the end of his life, mentally sharp as a tack,
Mm-hmm.
was getting ready to go with my grandparents to the lake for the weekend, perfectly ambulatory. Basically got ready, took a shower, got dressed, dropped dead in the middle of the bathroom. That's how he died.
Right.
No long suffering illness. He was not bedfast. He was not, a burden
Right.
on society or my grandmother. He was older. He had, some issues, but nothing, if anything, doing better than most people his age, if for no other reason than he was above ground.
Right. But, I don't know how we fix the systemic problem in the gay culture because we even see it in SL.
Oh God. Oh
Short,
geez.
tiny,
Like,
thin
culture.
dudes.
Yeah. Gay model number 107, please come to the front.
Yeah.
Not all at once, you'll collapse the floor.
Yeah. you know. But, and I'm like, okay, we need to change this Adonis view of things. I've recently upgraded my body. I'm liking my little bit more thickness, but, it's a little bit more me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we do see a lot of carbon copy ideas of what attractive is.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I find it a lot like driving through a massive suburban development. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the one where you get lost because everything looks the same.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, it's a little hard to be attracted to people that are cookie cutters of other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just one after another, after another, after
Mm-hmm.
another, after another.
Right.
What is my like? Hi, sorry, I need a little diversity here. Something,
Mm-hmm.
something. Give me something.
Right.
Some differentiating event.
Mm-hmm.
So that I at least, oh, hi. Okay, cool.
Right.
Like,
All right. So let's run on over to the next one.
mhm.
Penny for your
Oh, yeah.
thoughts.
Yes, Penny for your thoughts, Elder Gaze. This is mark 25 to 29 for Ask Gay Bros Over 30. Hello, everybody. I'm 29, turning 30 in a few months. Boyfriend is 26. We have been together for 4 years now and are talking about marriage. I broached the topic of a prenup, told him that it's sad to even think about us not being together, but I have seen many coworkers stuck working into their 60s because an ex wife is claiming half of their pension. I don't want to ever be there. I'm working in a field full of dumb Republicans, living very modestly, kind of hating life right now, to be able to put away as much as I can and then get the fuck out. He understood and he agreed that we should do it. He asked his sister for advice regarding a prenup, and she was surprised, said she and her husband didn't have one. They didn't ever even consider that they might not stay together. I instantly felt so ashamed for being so cynical. I got my boyfriend to start pursuing a degree. He is really, really intelligent, and I want to see him apply that. I got him to start contributing to his own IRA. I'm pushing him to be able to stand on his own if ever he needs to. We both come from real poverty. I want us to be okay. But I feel gross for allowing what feels like greedy bourgeois concerns come into this. I don't know what I want anyone to say here. I guess just tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm looking at things the wrong way here. Tell me what your experience has been with these kinds of things. Thank you.
Right. I'm sorry. Prenup. 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 Prenup.
Well, even if you don't do the prenup, even
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, but I think a prenup can be a good incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't know what the future holds. You have
Right.
none of us do. Y'all could get married and literally that afternoon, and it happens. Your spouse will die. That's it. It's over. You've been married for like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What
Technically,
you
it
gonna
needs to be
do now?
24. Just saying. But anyhow.
Well, but you've been married for 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's over. You've got like I hope you got another plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea that you're gonna, just what? What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? This it really gets more into the idea of future planning.
Right.
And it's a hard conversation at 29 and 26. It feels like, that day will never come.
Right.
The problem is by the time most people are ready to have the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably too late.
Yeah.
It's either okay, there's no making up for the past, for the 30 some years most likely
Mm-hmm.
that you went on thinking, we don't have to worry about it, we're too young for that, and then you get
Yeah.
around 60
Mm-hmm.
and that seems to be with that, like, idea of 12, 14, 15 years from now you're going to retire, when everyone that has survived
Right.
wants to start thinking about the future.
Right.
And that never goes well.
Right.
It doesn't. There's not a lot you can do if you hold off your future planning, which
Mhm.
includes the idea that you might get a divorce.
Yeah.
Your
Or
spouse
two.
might die tomorrow.
Mhm.
You may have horrible changes in jobs and financial circumstances over the next 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
There's a lot that can happen. I prefer to be optimistic. I prefer to hope that everything works out for the best and that you live this nice long life and you die next to each other in matching rocking chairs in your lovely paid off home. I
Mhm.
prefer that. We all prefer that.
Right.
It's not promised. You might
No.
not get it.
Right.
29-year-old might be looking around for something a little younger in a couple of years.
Mhm.
Maybe you put on 20 pounds.
Right.
I'm just saying, I wish it came with a guarantee. It doesn't.
Right.
You have to plan for it. If you don't plan for it, you plan for a disaster. You plan for chaos.
Right.
So
You know.
plan now or suffer the consequences later.
Right.
And if you never need it,
Right.
never need it. And that's great. That's wonderful.
Right.
But and that's most of the point is a lot of people do want to take it as you're planning the relationship to end, which you
Right.
are. Like let's get that clear. You are.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you have already decided
Right.
the relationship is going to end. You're just planning for the future that could involve that. And if it does, what does that look like? What are we doing?
Well, I
Are we
think
going
that
to
kind of took
fight?
you
Or
for what is the word? Took you back a little
okay.
bit when we first started, and I'm like, okay, this is how we end this.
Yeah, no. I personally like no one's ever been that upfront and direct about it. Like most
Mm-hmm.
of my ex situations, I will say that I don't want to really say I got lucky in them as much as it's a little and maybe this is kind of a little added penny for my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you don't have a plan, you
Right.
kind of have to make one on your own.
Right.
You kind of have to decide, and go through that on a continuous basis
Right.
of like, do I see this lasting another 6 months? Let alone 30 years for a mortgage or
Right.
5 years for a car loan?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, do I seriously consider as I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
step by step, with every little thing you go through as a couple or as a triad or as a whatever polycule you are in,
Right.
is this like, I think knowing that you already have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of let it go. We already have a plan. I don't have to think about it.
Right.
We know what the plan is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to go through your relationship and really think hard, do I want to be doing this in 6 more months?
Yeah.
Do I want to like do I really think we have a buy a car future or a get a dog future? And what is
Mm-hmm.
that going to look like? And I think you tend to be more reserved in your investment in a relationship when
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea what the end of it could look like.
Right.
Now, I think other people may just be like, we're just going to throw spaghetti at the wall. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That sucks. And it's just going to be horrible.
Right.
And maybe that holds them together like glue, that like facing the realities of this
Mm-hmm.
is, and for whatever value that has, maybe you as a couple prioritize, you're just going to stick it out for the kids and hate each other for 30 damn years.
And that's a statement that I didn't think ever in my life. Oh, they're just sticking it out for the kids.
Okay.
Never thought that would be talking about some, my gay couple friends. But now it's like, oh God, they just adopted another one after he had an affair. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, originally, if you back way up, like the idea that we were going to be able to get married, adopt, own homes
Right,
together, free, like clearly own homes together, not
right,
some, oh, it's my roommate and, the mortgage is in
right.
my name and, whatever fantasy story you had to tell. But no, that was, threw off a lot of people.
Right.
You also had the HIV/AIDS epidemic and everything that did to couples. And a lot of people are still
Mm-hmm.
struggling with that.
Right.
And because they lost, I will say to an extent, they kind of lost the ability to love, because
Mm-hmm.
love was pain and hurt and
Right.
heartbreak and loss. And so the idea of going to another human being and trying again, there are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that said, nope, I'm out. I'm done.
Right.
Nope, I'm cool.
Right.
We're never doing that again. That, and also in some instances thinking, I'm not going to make it either.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were a lot of people that made a lot of choices based on the idea, I'm not going to avoid this. It's a ticking time bomb. It's like
Mm-hmm.
walking through a minefield. Eventually, I'm going to hook up with the wrong dude
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be dead in 10 years.
Right.
So, what does it matter?
Yeah.
What's the point? So, there was that. And then, so we had some broken role models, if we had any at all.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Like,
And
our
then we
role
come
models
into
were
it.
different. I mean, like, our role models, like, we didn't have TV role models and screen role models. No, we had Ben at the bar who owned the bar and worked at the nursing home and done this and done that. You
Yeah,
know,
well, no, if we were watching TV in the years, like if we were looking
right,
back at our teens and 20s and the
mm-hmm,
lead up to becoming 29 and
right,
26, we were looking, like, if you saw someone on television or in a movie,
mm-hmm,
they were tragically dying of AIDS. It was
either
sad
that,
and horrible, and we were supposed to learn to be careful and responsible, and this was the whole character. This is all they
right,
could do. They were not allowed to have any more depth than dying AIDS patient. Or they were the comic relief.
mm-hmm,
They were the silly, funny Nancy who's always doing something stupid
mm-hmm,
or hilarious or funny. They were never a main character. If you want
right,
to be a main character, you have to be dying of AIDS.
mm-hmm,
But if you weren't, you were the comedic relief. You were a throwaway character. You existed in the periphery. They just wrote you in long enough to make a joke, and then out the door you went. At least all the way up to Ellen, and then we watched that show disintegrate overnight.
yeah,
It
well,
was
or
traumatic. I'm just saying,
right,
it was traumatic.
and then
Trying
after that,
to incorporate that into like, who am I going to be in 30, 40, 50 years?
mm-hmm,
That was a struggle.
well,
A lot
and
of us
then
got
you
the
have to
message that didn't
incorporate the
matter.
additional ones. Then you have the
Oh,
additional ones that get me,
yeah.
and and this is the reason I do not like gay movies now, is because it's always boy meets boy, girl meets girl. They have this disparaging relationship and separate and then come back together, and it's like, oh God, please give me something real, build me some real content, please.
So Devin says, I love how folks add kids to the mix when they can't even get their shit together. Like,
Oh,
damn.
how many people have had children this, just to keep the man?
The save the marriage baby. No one ever gets the save the marriage baby. You get some dumb useless baby who just does normal useless baby shit.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, like, that's not my general opinion of babies, but I mean, in terms of shooting for a save the marriage baby, then what you get, you don't
Right.
save the marriage with the baby. It
Right.
has
Or save the
literally never been.
relationship.
Well, and more to the point, like, okay, your mileage can vary on that. If you want to actually have a meaningful relationship that people want to be in, you're not going to get that from having a baby.
Or
No
adopting a
one has
baby. Or
ever
bringing
gotten
one
that.
home like a surprise puppy.
Oh yeah. Now you can, and this is that whole. Well, you get what you asked for. You can get the. Well, we didn't get divorced and or break up. Not quite the same as save the marriage or save the relationship. More like we locked in for another 18 years.
Right.
You know, like if you got out or on the verge of getting out of prison, and then you did some stupid shit and you went back in, you got a new sentence.
Yes.
Like, you didn't divorce, you didn't break up. Oh, Devin says, and I want a gay version of Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
Oh.
Gay westerns, please. And he freezes. There you are. Welcome back, honey.
All right, and so Devin wanted a gay version of A Little House on the Prairie. That's adorable. It is. It is adorable. It would be fun. It would be interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a lovely goal to aspire to, but you really also have to think about is that really what you're going to get?
Or keeping up appearances. That would be hilarious if played by two gay characters.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, I like so but getting back to the point, when it came to like our role models, our ideas, our expectations, oh man, like what we got shown was just abysmal.
I think the first qualified, interesting would be Queer as Folk. And that was if you had a certain, cable package.
Yeah. Like if you got that channel, you might have been able to watch that. But in like mainstream television, oh god, what was it, the early 2000s before we actually got like a real honest to god gay couple? That I mean had character and depth and a storyline and a
is it Modern Family? When did they come on?
Oh god, that's like 2010. Because I still remember Desperate Housewives, and Andrew was a whole big like, oh my god, Andrew's gay. 2009.
Yeah,
I was close. So yeah, like by that point, like hi,
right.
I was pretty much where you were. We were still like playing fast and loose with the idea of I'm probably going to be dead in 10 years. Yeah, what does it matter? What did any of it matter? If you were going to be dead in another 10 years.
True, but at the same time, I don't think that I ever thought we'd live past 40.
No, I mean, literally, that was the messaging we got. We weren't going to make it past 40.
Right.
You're a sexually active gay or bisexual man or man who sleeps with men. You are very unlikely to make it past 40. And if you did, don't hold your breath.
Right. Because I don't remember any coming up in the club other than Cinnamon, who we called Methuselah. I don't remember anyone over the age of 40.
Yeah. I mean, that was the devastation that occurred.
Right.
We literally lost role models. We literally lost members of the community that would have been otherwise
Mm-hmm.
showing us leading us through this.
Right.
Like we would have been modifying and adopting and evolving it,
Right.
but they weren't there.
Right.
They were they were as absent as humanly possible.
Well, they were in the great beyond. I mean, because they just weren't. There was no one over 40 ever kind of, gay role model.
Well, but it wasn't that no one survived.
Right.
People survived. They were so heartbroken, shell shocked, and destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people.
Yeah.
Like I, and understandably so. I'm not trying to make fun of them.
Right.
But the reality is, if you've just watched, your partner and your next partner and the partner after that, and your best friend and your neighbor and everyone you've literally ever known drop dead of a disease, I don't think I'm going to have the emotional fortitude to invest in new relationships.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of fucking trauma. You don't just see a therapist for a couple of months and fix that shit.
Right. You don't.
Not to mention, at the time, that was a weird moment in therapy. Weird moments in therapy. Like, you stumble into the wrong therapist, you're going to a conversion camp.
Yeah, well, that's still possible. All right, so let's head over and find out if you're an asshole.
All right. Let's see. Where we got that at? Oh, there we go. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my wife her homophobic family can't stay with us? My wife and I have been together for about 2.5 years. Her family is very conservative and homophobic and have been so for entirely too long, in my opinion, when they have a gay daughter. This territory is nothing new to them. She came out to them when she was 18. She is 31. She has an ex-wife that she was married to for 8 years, and they have a son together. It's truly shocking how close-minded they still are to her lifestyle. They've always been pretty cold toward me, and when we were dating, it was so obvious how different her straight sisters in their straight relationships were treated. This has always bothered me, but they live about 3 hours away, so I am able to keep my distance and them out of my mind for the most part. My wife has accepted the way they are as just how it is, and she thinks it's worth just letting things be in order to keep any kind of relationship with them. This dynamic has always bothered me, but things really came to a head last fall when one of her sisters got married. Excuse me. Her entire family was so involved with every part of the process. Sorry, guys. It was obviously such a big deal, and they were all super excited. At the wedding, my fiance at the time was a bridesmaid in the wedding party. I was sat with the rest of the family who did not acknowledge me, talk to me, interact with me at all the entire time. They truly acted as if they had no idea who I was. Meanwhile, they are fawning over their straight daughter and her marriage, while I'm sitting there knowing I'm planning to marry their gay daughter in the next few months. It made me really sad and angry. I drew a line. I told my fiance at the time that the way they acted like I was a ghost was the last straw, and that if they want to act like I don't exist, they are also dead to me. Fast forward to now, we are married, eloped, thanks to the scariness of this administration. My wife informs me that her dad and her stepmom want to come visit in a couple of weeks. They have never once visited us and are coming because my wife's son will be on spring break. Apparently, they are planning to stay with us too. I got upset and told my wife I don't want them in my house. I hate being disrespected when I've done nothing but try my best to be part of the family and have just gotten rejected over and over again. I thought they would come around, but the dynamic was almost worse once we were engaged. I don't know what to do. There's no way my wife will tell them they can't come, and she's never been willing to have a conversation with them about this. I just can't imagine being forced to host them. Am I the asshole? Edit to add. Okay, I'll leave that alone for now.
I don't think you're the asshole. I think you have to draw lines with family. Sometimes it's very hard to do, but you have to put them in line and go, nope, 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 nope.
I think it's a pretty reasonable boundary to say that this isn't what should be occurring in your home to you.
Right.
You shouldn't have to live there through this.
Right.
Excuse me. And having them find other accommodation is reasonable.
No.
Like, they can visit their grandson all they want. You will gladly encourage that to happen. Yeah. But this is not the motel homophobe.
No. And why should you be ghosted the whole time you're there? Why should you be treated like trash in your own house?
Yep. Nope. Not reasonable. Like, if your wife wants to visit and take the son, if they want to stay at an Airbnb, if they want to stay at a hotel, a motel, something. But I'm sorry, the way they've acted, they've forfeited the right to expect to stay in your home.
Right.
If you have chosen to not respect someone's relationships, you forfeit the right to enter their home, to expect to enter their home and spend time in their home.
Right.
Like, nope, sorry, that's not how this works. So no, I think that's a moment of, like, I will gladly support them visiting to see their grandchild.
Right.
If that's even how they think of their grandchild.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what concerns me even more is, like, is this even worth it for the kid?
Right.
But let's assume it is, and that they are otherwise decent people. I'm benefit of the doubt. But no, they don't get to stay.
Right.
You don't have to voluntarily leave. You don't have to voluntarily live through it. It's your house too.
Right.
Like, and if you're a significant other, if your wife does not want to have this conversation with their parents,
right,
this is the most reasonable solution. Nope.
The poll is up. Go ahead and vote. Are you the asshole for refusing to host your in-laws because they're homophobes? All right, let's jump into poly advice. This should be interesting.
All right. Can anyone spill the details of poly? Okay, so I would like to know the details of poly living, but mostly the married polys. Like, when it comes to sex, if you have your husband and a boyfriend and they both want you, who goes first? Last? Is it always that way, or do you switch it up? What about other things like privacy? Or does every one of your family and friends know about you all? Going back to sex, has it ever made your husband feel inferior because you have another man that has sex with you, making his and feel like he can't satisfy you in that department? Has his performance dropped since feeling inadequate? If so, how do you handle that? I'm assuming poly people don't get squeamish over sex fluids. Can you?
Let's skip this.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah. Title was not worth the mouse click.
Nope, it wasn't. Nope, send that one back. Catch and release. Yeah. Catch and release.
All right, but this is a lot of crap we've been getting.
I almost want to do it because it's so broken.
Okay, fine. Let's do it, but let's do it in clean parts that doesn't get us kicked off the internet, shall we?
Well, I mean, technically.
Yeah.
All right, y'all brace in. I'm assuming poly people don't get squeamish over sex fluids. Can your husband handle some other guy's fluids in or on you? Can be having sex with it around, or does that make him not want to touch you? What about sleeping arrangements? Who sleeps with who? And what about privacy? Like, does your husband want privacy about how he has sex with you? Same for all of you. What do you, wife, say you're married to boyfriend or husband? If you go somewhere alone with boyfriend, would you claim to be married to him or still say husband? What about house rules? Who has say or more say in it? I couldn't imagine the boyfriend having say in a house that he doesn't own if he doesn't own a share of it, that is. And if there are kids, who do they call dad? I mean, sure, anything can be worked out, but imagine if you want privacy and you pick up your kid from school and a teacher asks who you are because the boyfriend was picking him up this past month, and the teacher sees that, and now what do you say? Is there a reason to be married then in the first place? Other than what? Because it's like Three's Company, why get married? Ooh, that's a buckle up.
All right, let's
Take
go
it away.
through it. Well, one, some of these questions are none of your business. The other ones, it's like, okay, the order is whatever order pops up. What about privacy? Everybody fucking knows. It's in my fucking bio at this point.
I kind of go with the theory that if you're old enough to ask, that you deserve real answers. The problem being, it's not going to be one answer for everyone.
Exactly.
And that's just assuming, like, you're sitting here, like, the base assumption of this whole post is one woman, at least two men, and like it gets more into the things that like straight monogamous people find icky.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm sorry, straight monogamous people get really hung up about some really weird shit.
Right.
Like, and I mean, it is steeped in like purity culture, used chewing gum nonsense. It immediately assumes that like the whole reason this exists is because your husband can't get it up, or that you're cheating on him. I'm going to put it in air quotes. I'm going to call it what you really think it is.
Right.
Is, making him feel inadequate.
Right.
And like, well, how do you handle it? Meanwhile, like, fluid bonding is a thing, so are fucking showers.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to be told this? Like, I'm sorry, do you think your ex was still covered? Like, no one takes a bath around you?
That's just scary.
Like, what is that? Like, or are you one of those people that's really like way down the rabbit hole of like, when fluids get inside of a woman, she can become pregnant for months and years later. Like,
you're not a cat.
Like, I've heard that one floated. No, you can't. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But there's some medical exemptions to that, and most of them, but don't even.
Yeah.
But and then who sleeps with who?
What about sleeping arrangements? They always want to know what happened, who sleeps where. Well, guess what? It's normally like wherever we fall asleep at. I've slept on the couch because it was comfortable. I slept in our bed. I slept in my other bed. Depending on where I'm sleeping is where. Hell, I've slept in this chair the other night.
It's not really that scandalous around here, guys.
No.
But again, you're really heavily attaching this monogamy possession. I mean, that's ultimately what you seem to be asking.
Right.
Is like you're talking about your property.
Yeah.
And your property might be sleeping with someone else.
Right.
And how do you handle your property sleeping with someone else? What?
You
Stop
hopefully
it.
don't make
Not
breakfast in the
cool.
morning.
Not cool. There are many, many, many benefits to marriage that we are all clear on. Not saying that anyone should or has to or needs to or ought to, or like, that's your own choice. Get married. Some polycules have married partners, some don't. Some are perfectly content with that. I'm sure you'll find some that are like, well, it could be different. Yeah. So what Aeson is saying is, you guys sleep like old people. Wherever you drop is wherever you sleep, pretty much.
Pretty much. You know,
Pretty
if
much.
he's all starfish, then I'm going to my other bedroom.
Yeah.
If I don't want to if it's too hot in one bedroom, I can get up and go to the other bedroom. If
Well,
someone's
and
over, I can sleep
sometimes,
somewhere else.
I mean, it's quite frankly, it really kind of is sometimes where you drop, but sometimes it's where you comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm over 40 and things crack and pop now. They have been for a while, but to make the connection for people, I'm over 40. Sometimes I sleep on the couch because it feels better. He's not in trouble. He's not in the doghouse. He is not. No, I'm comfortable here. Leave me alone. I wish we had a recliner. You know what I mean? Like, this is where my life is. Like, you wonder what age you start understanding a recliner. Welcome to your 40s.
Right. There was another one here. I'm like,
and then there's the whole
the house rules one.
Oh yeah. Oh, stop, please, no.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I will potentially say that if you are in a situation in which one partner in a triad or more, 3 people or more, where one single person owns the house completely, totally, and outright, and it is, in every sense of the word, their house, yeah, they probably have more control over the rules. I mean, a little bit. It's their house. It's their house.
Right, but that's not our situation.
But realistically, you're talking about the differences between the house rules and, like, I'm sorry, if you outright own a house, you get to decide if we're, or at least get a deference in the idea that, like, we're going to pave the driveway this year. I don't want to pave driveway. Well, you own the house, so that's going to be off to you. I think that's fair. But if you're talking about how do we make this relationship that is occurring with people who live in this house, yeah, you can't play the I own the house, we play by my rules, or go home.
Right.
That doesn't work. Now, if you want to talk about the house itself, that's different.
So I can get my flamethrower then.
No, that has nothing to do with the house.
Darn. Yes, it does. It has to do with snow removal.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's Brenda, the lie you tell yourself and others of why you want a flamethrower. You're not getting a flamethrower. Just stop now.
Okay.
But no, if we were talking about, like, I would think that's fair. Like, I do on some level feel like it is your house.
Right.
So if you want a green roof, we're getting a green roof. Like, if I'm not paying for it and I'm not on the deed, I don't have a financial interest in the house, it's your house. I may help contribute to it for my own, I wouldn't want to get leaked on, necessity. But do I get to decide, like, and argue and fight over the color of the fucking roof? Why?
Well, see,
why?
bigger problem with this one when it comes to us. I don't give a care. We have a red roof. For my part, paint the whole house red.
Yeah. It'll stand out better on the block.
Yes. It's easier to say, find me by the second, I'm the second red house on the block.
Well, yeah, no, it actually wouldn't stand out. I forgot the next door neighbor has a red house. It's because it's not really red.
Yeah.
It's sort of red.
Mm-hmm.
It's an odd color.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's not, because when you say it, I want a red house, I think it's going to be like the red roof, and it's going to be like, hi, you can't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Red. It is fire engine red. It is ruby red. It is wow red.
Right.
Versus our neighbor's house is a very kind of dark,
Crimson.
muted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's red. I mean,
Right.
that is the technical color if you're working with like the 6-pack of Crayola.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, but
and I
like
mean,
our house rules are real simple.
Like,
don't
if I have
the
to tell a
dog.
straight man how to get here, I'm gonna say we're one past the red house. I hope they make it.
Yeah. But no, like, house rules are real simple. One, don't talk to the bear until he's had his coffee. Leave him alone for his mornings. Pick up after yourself.
Again, that's something that's not just you make all the rules.
Right.
That like, if you want a polyamorous relationship to work, the rules are about everyone, and it is not a dictatorship.
No.
The minute it becomes a dictatorship, you have a failing polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
Because that's never going to work. It doesn't work in monogamy. It does not work in polyamory.
Right.
It just doesn't work. If it's a dictatorship, it doesn't work.
All right. So the next one is about kids and who to call daddy. First of all, I don't go by daddy. I prefer papa. So they can call daddy whoever the fuck they want.
And again, I think you're assuming here a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
The first of which is that, I mean, it's sort of like you're not going to know the paternity.
Right.
That this was one big giant relationship that all formed at the same time.
Right.
So it's kind of hitting that My Three Dads, which, by the way, was an actual show.
Yeah.
I reference you there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, takes village to raise a child. Do you really think everyone's going to have a problem here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I think you're overthinking it.
Mm-hmm.
That, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of stepdads in this world that have been in that child's life since they were one.
Mm-hmm.
They still get called by a first name. Doesn't make them any less of a father.
Right.
I mean, it really doesn't. Really doesn't. Like, why are you making this difficult? I thought it was My Three Dads. Am I totally lost? Are we having a Mandela moment? Was like, did I fall out of a like, did we have a moment?
Well, there's a book called My Three Dads.
Yeah, but it was an older show, I swear to God. It was the funny guy from Full House was one of the dads. And then one was like an analyst or something. Like he had a high profile job, and then the other one was kind of in between. Yeah, there were three, weren't there?
Apparently there are
Maybe it
two
wasn't
shows.
called
One
My
is from 1987, was My Two Dads, and then Our Three Dads was another one.
Oh no, there we go. My Two Dads. What? I thought what?
No, there's two shows, two separate shows.
Okay.
Yeah. One was a miniseries.
Okay. American Sex.
There's that.
No, Paul Reiser, I remember, but maybe I'm just confused because I swear to God there were three. That is so weird. Oh, see, and I can't copy. This is so weird. I used to watch the show. I swear to God, there were three, and the third one was the dude from Full House that was funny, like the one that like had like the characters and oh, I forget his name. So let me start there and see if I can work backwards. Dave Collier, I think. Because it was late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, dear. That's what I'm saying. There were two separate shows.
Alrighty.
My Two Dads, which came in the 90s, and My Three Dads, which came in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So who knows which one you watched? Now the final question.
Had to have been My Three. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was having a whole moment. Like, did we just fall into a timeline or some shit? Like that was weird.
No, we have reused titles with multiple characters. The last question: is there any reason for marriage in the first place? Tax benefits. Tax benefits.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's not always going to work out for everyone. And argumentatively, there are some like good reasons to just not get married, or to reserve it for like if you need it. And that also kind of falls in the category of you're mostly talking about legal marriage,
right?
The RIGHT of marriage. Not inherently the RITE right of marriage. That is a more religious, spiritual, personal choice, bond. That they are distinctly different. So you don't like. I'm sorry if you'd watched, I don't know, one season, one episode really of like, and not the best resource for polyamory or polygamy at all. But if you'd watched one episode, even part of an episode of Sister Wives, you'd at least have some clarity on like it's not all one thing.
Right.
Like, so ultimately, this post really falls into the category of explain the details of polyamory to me as a really hateful monogamist who wants to point out all the things you find icky. And then debate from there.
Right.
I'm sorry you have fluid ick, and I'm sorry you feel like you would have to be inadequate to allow your partner to be with someone else or whatever the hell this is. It's what it reads like. It's what it sounds like. It sounds like you have a lot of hangups and insecurities around relationships across
In general.
So I don't know how to make multiple relationships sound any better for you.
Right.
Good luck. Maybe see someone about that.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a new show coming up called Close Quad. We will probably be watching and reacting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just because it's fun. All right, so let's go see that poll. It's up on the tab. Ooh, no, you are not the asshole tonight.
Woo! Yeah, I didn't think I would be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry about that for everyone who is just looking forward to me being the asshole this week.
No, you win not the asshole more often.
Darn it. But no, I still can't.
Yeah.
Stop doing that to people. Can I just put that out there? If you have homophobic family, stop inviting them into your home.
Well, not only that, but sometimes you have to cut ties. Like, can we normalize cutting ties with family? Like, I recently got bad feedback for this, so I'm going to go off a moment.
All right.
You have the choice after the age of 18 of who's in your life. Mm-hmm. You are not required to have toxic people in your life. Whether they're a family unit or not, you can decide that you're not that unit anymore. You can decide you're not going to be that unit anymore.
Yeah, you do not have to participate in a family.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's sad, and I'm not saying you do this lightly, and no one should. Like, I didn't get my way. I'm just gonna, cut ties with my family. No. It's not something you do lightly. But the people that are thinking about doing it in the first place, that are listening right now, it wasn't because of something stupid.
Right.
I mean, it may be ultimately a very stupid position to have.
Right.
But fundamentally, this isn't a one-off thing like, oh, you didn't tell me I was your favorite. Like, that's not what's causing this. This isn't, that's not it. Like, I do not know how to get through to people who believe that they have never done anything wrong, or more to the point, think that, like, they're supposed to have absolution from the child that they did things wrong to. That, everyone makes mistakes, and, no, you're not entitled to that. I'm sorry. No, some things are just not forgivable. Some things need a lot of distance for forgiveness. Most all of it absolutely requires you to understand the problem, the actual problem, and make a concerted effort to change that shit.
Right.
Oh, they tried to guilt me over an aunt I cut off, but she's sick. Me, I'm sorry she's sick. She's old. Me, yes, we're all getting older. Sorry, no guilt.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's unfortunately how that works.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's just not a requirement.
It's not a requirement. It's not a need. It's not a function. Nor are you. And I really think we need to stop this hugging culture. And what I mean by that is, here, hug this one. I don't wanna hug them anyhow. They're family.
Well, I mean, I think that's more of a broad, byproduct of being a parent that's likely gonna lose, or end up with children that go no contact.
Right.
Like it's that kind of forced non-recognition of their thoughts, feelings, and like autonomy.
Right.
And I know. Before anyone starts, yes, there are things and times that you have to lay hands and force a child to do something for their own safety.
Mm-hmm.
Jerk them back from the train track. Do not let them put their hands on the stove. Stop handing them quarters.
Yeah.
That's all fine. No one's arguing that. Forcing them to hug someone that they are adamantly opposed to only teaches them not to trust their instincts and puts them at risk of ignoring feelings, gut instincts, and getting into bad situations in the future because they have no gut instincts because you turn that off.
Right.
It's as simple as that. But since you're not thinking it through, it's going to be the first foundation in the why does your child want to go no contact with you? Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah. Let's start at controlling your behavior. Let's start at looking at boundaries that adults should have in their life.
Yeah, because there is a lot of stuff that happens in childhood that is the struggle of adulthood. Because you had all this violated, you had all this ignored, you were taught the opposite of healthy relationships and boundaries.
Right.
Oh, is it any surprise that you grew up and now you gasp, have problems with relationships and boundaries?
Right. And creating boundaries, and you get tired, you don't know how to deal with someone when they say, no, I'm done with you. You can't respect me.
Or emotional honesty.
Even better.
Boys don't cry. Good girls don't cry. Okay, now you just tied value to emotion in a negative way. So, yeah, is it any wonder that this grown-up adult has problems expressing themselves appropriately, often, adequately, and honestly?
Right.
Like, do we not follow the bouncy ball?
Right.
Stop doing it.
Exactly. All right, honey. Take it away.
All righty. So thank you for your support. Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Devin, and Bella. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. All right, guys. We will see you on Tuesday. You have a lovely evening.
Bye.